Hello and welcome to Cretaceous Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Mattel Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Primal Attack Sound Strike Sinoceratops. Alright, you guys, so this is a very interesting species. It's interesting because we were supposed to get it, kind of, the very first go-around of the Jurassic World toy line back in 2018. Of course, Mattel ended up releasing the Pachyrhinosaurus with Sinoceratops colors, more or less as it appeared in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Finally, they've corrected that. The colors are a bit different this time around. They're maybe kind of movie accurate in their own way, but they are a little bit different. And we have the proper Sinoceratops this time. Not a Pachyrhinosaurus with the Sinoceratops name. It is actually a Sinoceratops, so that's good. I really do like this Camp Cretaceous aesthetic that they have here with the packaging. I think it looks really nice, really catchy. At the back, it shows you the sound strike action that you can achieve with your Sinoceratops. It shows you that you get a little card that comes packed with the figure as well. Primal Attack, and a little more artwork from Camp Cretaceous on that side, including Bumpy the Ankylosaurus baby. I got mine from Amazon.com for $14.99. It went up for pre-order about a week ago, and she just showed up today. All right, I'm going to take a moment to get the Sinoceratops unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is our Sinoceratops out of the packaging, and this is a really cool looking dinosaur. And that's apparent when you see it in the packaging, when you can try it before you buy it, but once you get it out of the packaging, I think you can really appreciate the dinosaur a little bit more. This is one of the few dinosaurs from the Jurassic films that we didn't yet have in toy form. Mamenchosaurus is another one, Cretaceous is another one, and I might be missing another one or two from the actual films, but this is another one we can check off our list. As you can see, Mattel did a really nice job with the sculpt. I mean, it's very imposing. I mean, we've had a bunch of ceratopsians in this line, different ones, and I think this is one of the most impressive, just from a visual perspective. It looks very bold and it looks very well done. Of course, this being a sound strike, it does have some sound features as well as some action features that are incorporated into the sculpt. Taking a close-up look here at the head sculpt, look at how nice this looks. This is really nice. I'm not just saying that, it looks really nice. I mean, if you go back and compare it to some of the previous ceratopsians, I think those are, generally speaking, some of Mattel's stronger sculpts. They're not perfect. We'll go over the imperfections here, but just looking at the head, just judging it on its own merits, it looks really impressive. It's definitely catchy. I really like what they did here, and like I said, it's actually, what we see in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, so that is really nice to have as a toy. It's not just another repaint, it's not just another repack, it's actually a new toy. So I really like the eyes. Like, the eyes on this guy are very large. If you look at the Sinoceratops or the Pachyrhinosaurus / Sinoceratops, the fake Sinoceratops, the eyes are really itty bitty. This one, they're actually pretty nice and, sizable. So I really do appreciate that. You can see the beak is a different color. It's not just the same color like we've seen on some of the others. We have this really nice lengthy horn right here on its nose, as well as here on the top of its head. Now, it does seem that the nose is sculpted as part of the head. I know in some of the promo shots it looks like it's separately sculpted, but for the actual final product, it seems like it is part of the entire head, as are the rest of the horns you see. And they look really good. You can see a little bit of paint rub right here on this horn, but the rest of them generally look very nicely done. Looking at the head from this side, you can see it looks great just as well. The eye is a little bit off center, but it's not the worst I've seen on a Mattel Jurassic World toy. But you can see it's a little bit off. And I wonder why they didn't paint the horns here on the side, like the ones here on the bottom. Those are the only two horns that they did not paint on this guy. I don't know if that's film accurate. I'll have to go back and look, but it is notable. And the rest of the sculpt looks really good. I'm having to do a lot of cuts in this video because every time I move this guy, it starts to make noises, and it's annoying. But it's very hefty, very beefy. We'll do a comparison with some of the other ceratopsians to see if there's any reuse, but I mean, on first glance, the torso looks a little bit different to me. I don't know, just the sculpting of it, like the proportions look a little bit different. Down on the bottom, you can see it has the sound box, which, speaking of the sound box, on this one, out of the box, the sounds did not work. I opened up the battery tray and saw that one of the batteries looked to be corroded or damaged. So I went ahead, and luckily I had replacements. I replaced it. I don't know if it's the heat. We've been having a lot of heat lately, so it could be that. Jurassic Facts apps right there if you are doing those. And Yeah, I mean, the sand hole is a little bit big, but I mean, we're kind of used to that at this point. Now, they did not paint any of the toes, so if you're wondering about that, nope, they didn't paint them. But it's a very proportionate dinosaur, and I think that's one of the cool things about it. Sometimes with these Mattel Jurassic toys, you get really long heads that are, way oversized, and you get tails that are really too small. This looks pretty proportionate. I'm not an expert. I know a little bit about dinosaurs. I'm not an expert, though. I know a lot of you guys know a lot more than me, and you make it clear that you know a lot more than me in the comments sometimes. So I believe you. Well, but the proportions, at least to my eye, just as looking at it from, a fan's perspective, I think it looks pretty proportionate. Maybe the head's a little bit big. I don't know, but I just think it looks impressive, and I think it looks fun. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So the colors we get this time are very realistic looking to me. At least, they're just not very bold. They're not very, like outlandishly colorful. I think they did a very nice job trying to match the film while also making it different from the previously released Sinoceratops. I really like the gray. It's a very nice, like elephant gray, if you will. We get some peach beige patterns here on the face and on the back. And also this more bold mustardy yellow color that you get there on the side. And also a little bit here of around the parts of the sculpt that are open here in the skull. And that is an interesting thing too. I know there's been some debate as to whether or not you would have actually seen these holes on the dinosaur. Like most likely, I guess there would have been skin covering the holes. But, this is the way it looked in the film, so obviously the toy needs to look film accurate. The horns are also a really nice darker gray color. Like I said, a little bit of paint rub right here, but on the whole, not bad. And then the beak is colored a little bit differently from the rest of the mouth. That way it, differentiates a little bit. So it's kind of like more of a darker beige sort of color. For articulation, the head does move and bounce around, but that is built into the action feature. The limbs, both forelimbs and hind limbs, are basically what you get on any other Jurassic Park toy. So for these, they just kind of go forward and back. This time, these ones don't hinge out in and out, doesn't seem like. Maybe a little bit, but they don't really stay out. The back ones do, though. Those ones go out, and they do rotate as well. One of the things that really impresses me about this one is the sound strike action. So it's very fluid, but it also has really nice sounds. So if you push the tail up, the head will go down. If you push it down, the head will go up. And then if you turn it side to side, you get some action as well. I really like the sounds. They sound very much like ceratopsian sounds from the Jurassic films, and just the stomping and the hustling and bustling. It's great. I think these are some of my favorite sounds in the Jurassic toy line. And yet again, we get the Camp Cretaceous booklet that comes seemingly with all the Camp Cretaceous toys. You can see that it looks to be the same route. Maybe it's a different route. I don't know. I don't have the other ones handy to compare, but there's the answers, and here are the stickers that you can put on the book. All right, so here's a look at all of the larger ceratopsians that have been released in the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. I'm not counting small ones. This is just looking at the larger $15 price point ceratopsians, and you can see they've come quite a ways. This is the more recent Soundstrike Triceratops. We have the Pachyrhinosaurus, which was called the Sinoceratops, but wasn't. We have the Nasutoceratops, and then finally the brand new correct Sinoceratops. So you may be pleased to know that the Sinoceratops is 100% new sculpting. The head, the body, the legs, the tail, it's all brand new, doesn't share any parts whatsoever with any of these previous releases. Here's a comparison of the Sinoceratops along with the Sinoceratops, that fake Sinoceratops I keep talking about. That's really a Pachyrhinosaurus. You can see that originally they tried to go for movie accurate coloring with that one, and this one is, you can kind of still see the inspiration. It's still kind of within that realm in terms of the patterns, like around the head and on the back a little bit. I'm not sure which is really more film accurate in terms of colors. I kind of feel like maybe somewhere in the middle would be more accurate, but your opinion might vary from mine. Maybe this is more accurate to the game and that's more accurate to the film. I don't know. So when Nasutoceratops came out last year, people were surprised that it was bigger than Triceratops and Pachyrhinosaurus. You'll be surprised to know that the Sinoceratops is even bigger than the Nasutoceratops. It's taller and it's a little bit bulkier overall. Let's compare with a human figure, and here you can see Claire along with the Sinoceratops. And as you can see, the Sinoceratops is quite a bit bigger than Claire. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Mattel Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Primal Attack Sound Strike Sinoceratops. Overall, you guys, I am super impressed with this particular release. That's kind of getting harder to do considering how many toys we've gotten in the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, but they managed to do it this time around. It's a hefty dinosaur, it's a ceratopsian, and it's very well sculpted. It's just really well done. It's not soft. You can definitely see the texture in the sculpting. And the paint application is naturalistic and for the most part pretty cleanly applied. I really like the color palette on this one. I would say this is my favorite ceratopsian Mattel has done at the $15 price point. It's sizable, it's got some great sounds. I really do like the sound strike type action feature. I find it to be a very good looking and quite fun toy. And those are the two things you really need to make a great toy. And I think this is a pretty great toy, other than the issue I had with the batteries, which obviously it shouldn't have been like that. I'm really happy. I think this is a fantastic release, and I can't encourage you to go out and get it enough. Like I said, Amazon.com, $14.99. I think it's out of stock as of this recording, but I'm sure they'll get it again, and I'm sure Walmart and Target will have it online too. All right, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Will you be picking up the Sinoceratops? Sound off down below. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Subscribe to the Collect Jurassic World podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.